Well, thank y'all so much for clicking on today's video. Today we are going to be talking about food shortages that are coming or already got here, and it's getting pretty bad, y'all. I wanted to cover this, I wanted to talk about this morning and fill y'all in. But before we get in today's video, I would love for you to hit the subscribe button and hit the thumbs up, because I'm not freezing out here for nothing. So there's been a lot of talk going around about food shortages and food prices going up and things like that. And I've been hearing it from several friends. Of course, I've been seeing it on YouTube of lately, but I've been hearing it around my community a lot. It's not yet as bad as 2020, but it's definitely interesting and a little bit worrying when you start seeing bare shelves again. You get a little bit of that 2020 PTSD come back. The United States in the 21st century is a place of abundance. We've come to expect almost every possible item, including food and especially staple items, to be available at every corner market, supermarket, and warehouse store virtually any day of the year, and often any time of day. That's all thanks to our robust and intricate supply chain that ensures products are available almost always without interruptions or man-made interruptions. And while that system is pretty reliable for the most part, sometimes real-life events create disruptions and wreak havoc on the food supply, with the effect rippling out for years afterward. Well, we saw that in 2021, y'all. Us ranchers here, if you didn't know, we have a good little herd of cattle, and several neighbors. We're all cattlemen out here, but anyway, we had to sell. We didn't personally, because the Lord blessed us with some hay bales, and then we were able to raise some money for a couple other ranchers around these parts to get some hay. But all the rest of the ranchers, hundreds of them, if not thousands of them, had to go out and sell off thousands and thousands of cattle. You might be saying, oh, well, then we should have lots of beef then. Well, you would think that, but they take all of that beef and they ship it overseas and they sell it for a premium dollar and leave us peasants over here with the scraps. As my neighbor was talking, Mr. Larry was talking last year, he was saying, he's like, all this massive drought and people selling their cows by the thousands because there's no grass and there's no hay. The feed prices were rising and it would cost you a bloody fortune to keep your cows. So people were selling them, and they were selling them for pennies on the dollar, y'all. It was absolutely terrible. Mr. Larry said it's not going to affect us this year. It's going to affect us in the years to come, because that's how the food supply works. All of those food factories and food facilities that got burnt down, I think it's about 100 now, or close to about 100 food factories that have burnt to the ground. I think it was all mainly in 2021, and we are going to be feeling that this year in 2023 and years to come. So far, the 2020s, farmers, food processors, suppliers, and grocery stores have affected by wealth problems, diseases, and labor shortages, or even all three factors and then some. According to Beef Magazine, there's an American magazine for you. Beef Magazine, the USDA estimates the average American will consume 5.6% less beef in 2023. Well, yeah, when it costs like close to I don't know what it is, but last time I checked, it was it was definitely over $6 a pound. It might be something crazy like $8 a pound. It was for like junky meat, but the price might have came down or went higher, I don't know. But what I want all y'all to do that are watching this video, just go down in the comment section down below and start telling me, what are y'all seeing at your grocery stores? Because I think that's kind of the coolest thing ever, because we can all go down there as a community and we can see what's actually happening in the whole entire country. Instead of being like, oh, I don't really know what's going on, we can just go down there and be like, oh, I'm from fill in the blank, Kansas or whatever, and the shelves are completely full, or, you know, the eggs have tripled in price, or fill in the blank. And please excuse the shivering a little bit and the stutteriness. That's just the cold getting to this good old Texas boy. The deepest decline in consumption in nearly 40 years. Consumers' choice to buy less beef is related to economic concerns such as inflation, lackluster GDP growth, and escalating beef costs brought on by ongoing shortage of the meat, according to the Washington Times. A devastating drought in Texas, which is responsible for 14% of the U.S. beef supply. There you go. There you go, y'all. Alternative feeds are currently too expensive to be cost-effective. All this resulted in early culls and slaughter cows meant to be processed in 2023. So as ranchers catch up, consumers can expect a nationwide shortage of beef products of every kind. Well, there you go. I didn't know that Texas produced 14% of the U.S.'s beef supply. 14% is a lot, y'all. Oranges. According to the Florida Department of Citrus, dude, they got their own Department of Citrus. That's awesome. The state is one of the world's most prolific regions for growing oranges and producing orange juice. The Florida climate usually provides ideal citrus conditions, including near tropical temperatures, plenty of rain, and plenty of sun, and sandy soil. But when that weather gets even a little out of whack, it leads to catastrophic effects on Florida orange crop, a situation playing out in 2022. With the hurricane and tropical storm brought high winds and torrential rains, destroying the Florida orange crop that followed. Epidemic of citrus greening, a plant disease that makes oranges fall off branches before they're ready, producing a bitter tasting fruit. While oranges are still hitting production departments in American grocery stores from California and Brazil, where weather has also led to a production decline. The issues in Florida are the biggest cause of a shortage in the October 2022 to September 2023 season. Florida farmers are expected to produce 20 million boxes of fruit, 51% less than previous season. That makes for the biggest drop since 1913 and lowest overall harvest since 1937. So that's nuts. There's a certain category of commercial agriculture called oilseed crops, which collectively make up the raw materials used to make cooking oil. Among oilseed crops are soybeans, sunflowers, peanuts, rapeseed, and canola, according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, which are processed into millions of bottles of fatty plant oil used to cook our food. The vast majority of oilseed crops are harvested in Russia and Ukraine. Awesome! The Brookings Institution reported that more than 70% of the world's sunflower seed and sunflower oil alone in 2020 originated in those two countries, which as of 2022 and 2023 are at war with one another, with those countries preoccupied by military conflict. Time reports that exports will be way down, leading to shortages of cooking oil and higher prices for what remains available. Yeah, so that's what we're gonna see a lot of here, y'all, going into 2023, and as the months go on, we might not see what we saw in 2022 as much, maybe towards the end of the year, but I think what we're really gonna see more than anything is just the food prices going way, way, way up. And all it's gonna do is, it's just like when the gas prices went way, way, way up. You just stop buying. You're gonna slow down your consumption a whole lot and start growing your own food, because other than that, I don't know what we're gonna do, because, and that's what we're planning on doing. And it's a new year, so we have a head start on these things. It's nice because we're seeing all these food shortages coming up. We can start kind of putting that in, chewing that over, start thinking about that, start planning for that, be like, hey y'all, we gotta be really serious this year, this spring, with our garden and then our fall garden, and really make every plant count, because this can't be no hobby gardening, you know? And we'll see. It's as much as the global elitists and everything like that think that they're in control, they're not. God is still in control, and God can do anything. But also, I think we as people need to be very smart. God gave us wisdom and discernment, and I think we should all be I think it's a very wise thing to stock up on some canned goods, can your own food. If you can, there's still going to be, for now, there's still going to be probably some sales. There's still going to be, you know, we still have been getting some pretty decent pricing at the grocery stores. Of course, they, you know, if something doesn't sell all week, they'll put it on clearance and things like that. If you can get food on clearance and can it up in bulk, that's amazing. Definitely use the system while we have it, while we got while we have these foods still in storage. According to all of the research that I've been doing, y'all, like, man, this is between the stinking citrus, crazy shortages, 51% less, and then the beef shortages and all types of crazy stuff, y'all. Butter. Refrigerated butter shelves in supermarkets aren't suddenly going to turn empty. The United States has been enduring some supply and cost issues with butter since the last few months of 2022. According to the Consumer Price Index, inflation on consumer goods led to a 9.1% average price hike in 2022, with food costs rising by more than 12%. While a range of issues is responsible for this economic crisis in general, butter experienced one of the steepest price upticks, specifically due to a lengthy labor shortage in the dairy farm sector, a subsequent reduction in milk production. Less work means less milk, which in turn means a lot less butter, according to the Wall Street Journal. The overall butter supply is the lowest it's been since 2017. Holiday feasting and baking at the end of 2022 led to a national run on the nation's majorly reduced butter stocks, so that shortage is likely to extend into early months of 2023. According to the farmers, advanced milk production is likely to increase somewhat in 2023, but it will take a while before farmers and food corporations can process it into sellable butter. Corn is the single most lucrative cash crop in the United States. The production, distribution, and sale of corn contributed $71.1 billion to the American economy in 2021, according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Whether it's used to make oil, corn syrup, canned, or sold fresh on the cob or off, corn is an extremely versatile and important product. The industry and its regulators keeps a close watch on how much corn is produced, and in 2022, according to the USDA, farmers were set to plant 89.5 million acres of crop, about 4% less than they had in 2021. That means corn farms were set to produce 3.7 million fewer acres of cash crop, making for a significant dent in the overall corn supply. This could very well and locally mean a dearth of corn and corn-based products on store shelves in 2023, along with higher prices on what is produced according to successful farming. Eggs. One could argue that eggs are literally the glue of American diet. They're a binder and ingredient in a vast variety of baking goods, as well as a protein-rich breakfast and brunch staple. Nationwide egg shortage is set to interpret breakfast plans for millions in 2023. The survey of eggs expected in 2023 is a direct result of one of the biggest avian flu outbreaks in American history in 2022. As reported by the Center for Disease Control, by the end of that year, bird flu led to the deaths of more than 50 million birds across 46 states. Now those 50 million birds did die, and they did gas them. I don't doubt that at all, but yeah, I'll let y'all do your own research on the bird flu, but anyway. Either directly from the virus itself or from culling by farmers after confirming exposure to the disease. Since eggs come from chickens, no way. The lack of millions of producers significantly affects the supply, as do pre-existing supply chain issues brought on by the pandemic and increasing labor costs. According to the Washington Post, the eggs from healthy hens that did make it to store cost way more than usual in California in early 2023. A dozen eggs carrying a price tag of 3 times what they did in 2022. So that is some of the craziness that is happening in the good old US of A with all the food shortages. I just wanted to read this article to y'all and just kind of talk about this because it is a real thing that is happening. I don't want this video to come across to people as fear-mongering or anything like that. I want this video to come across as being aware of what is happening in the world, in the United States. I think as consumers of food, and you kind of need to have food to stay alive, I think we really got to start thinking about this situation that is happening. I think as Americans, we've been very spoiled the last 100 years, and just always knowing that food is going to be on that Walmart shelf or on that Dollar General shelf or fill in the blank supermarket shelf. I think that is very unwise, and I think that we need to be prepping and we need to be preparing. And for somebody to say the opposite of that, I'm gonna need to hear their argument. I just wanted to raise awareness, and also maybe you're like, I've been hearing some food shortage talk a little bit, but I would like to hear some stats. So hopefully that clarified a little bit of some stats there. Now, hopefully you learned some stuff. I learned that Texas produces 14% of the beef for America, which is incredible. I did not know that. That's crazy. So anyway, y'all, hopefully y'all will be getting ready for this spring that is coming. I know for people up north, it's going to be several more months, but down here in the south, down here in the heartland, we are getting ready. I'm getting excited. We are planting our sweet taters in our greenhouse, especially if you got a greenhouse. I mean, you're ready to rock and roll. You already, that's the one biggest blessing that we have is we got our greenhouse, and it took us a little bit of time to put it up, about a whole entire year, because we just had so much going on in 2022, but finally got it up. And yeah, so we're growing stuff all in there, and when it gets chilly and nippy and 40 degrees, got down to -5 this year, but it's been in the 70s for the last 3 weeks, so I guess we need a little bit of cold to come back, I guess. But anyway, y'all, thank y'all so much for watching today's video. Remember to subscribe. The 2 last videos that I posted, YouTube absolutely hated me for that, so they started flogging me again and beating me again openly in the town square again. So that's how you know you're doing something right. So anyway, y'all, thank y'all so much for watching today's video. Also, if you want to support what we do here on the farm, go check out TheTexasBoys.com. We got all types of awesome stuff from our community that we sell. Organic honey, organic coffee, organic teas, homemade soaps, all types of awesome stuff over there. Go check it out. We sell in bulk. That's one of the best ways to support this channel and just watching the videos. So love y'all so much. Have a good day. Bye-bye.